And we're back at the lovely Distillery, getting ready between sessions here. And this is Paul Monday. Hello, Paul. Summerleas Distilleries.
Yes.
We've just been chatting about the story, Sarah Gunn's fascinating story. And if you don't know it, go to my website, martinywhisper.com, of course. And there's the review from last year, 2022 article about talking the story about, in particular, Navy Gin, which we'll get to in a minute. But her journey as a distiller,
Yes.
and you've been involved since 2018, haven't you?
Yeah, since about halfway through 2018.
Yeah.
Sarah and I met at of all things, a whiskey tasting. And she needed a hand, and I was sort of into my second gap year.
Good.
Yeah, I've been doing this ever since. So
That's a very fine career change.
it is a wonderful career change.
Working out very, very well.
Yep.
Now, we've been gasbagging a bit about the gin. So you've got three at the moment in your lineup. The dry
Yes.
gin, the Naval Strength gin, which I mentioned is one of my top spirits of 2022, and there's some blackberry gin. And we were discussing just before off camera about a good gin should really stand by itself.
It
you know,
should.
so when we're enjoying a gin, like you're saying before we started.
I've been enjoying the dry gin in a whiskey tumbler.
Yes.
Should use a gin tumbler, but a whiskey tumbler with a big cube of ice.
Yes.
And just pouring the gin on top.
Because what I try to, there are wonderful garnishes, there's wonderful tonics out there, wonderful mixes, including right here at this event. But also a good gin should really stand up by itself.
Exactly.
To get that lovely complexity which you as distillers are really aiming
work
for.
Really hard for. Yep. Yeah.
But people don't realise, there's prototypes and prototypes and prototypes, and then you might start small and a little still, and then you got to scale it up, and it doesn't quite work out the way you intend.
No, and like most of our prototype work is done in a 5 litre still.
Yeah.
And then we scale from that to a 2,000 litre still. So there's a big jump in between.
You want to get those ratios right.
And because we use a London dry process, we only get one shot at it. So once we've distilled it, it's either good or it's in the bin.
And I'm guessing pretty classic London dry botanicals in your dry gin?
Yep.
Yes.
Very classic. Juniper, coriander seed, a little bit of cardamom.
And lovely juniper from Macedonia, I think you said?
Yep, Macedonian gin.
Yeah.
And orris root and a few other little.
Who's the chap on the back of the label?
Is Sarah's 7 times great grandfather.
Wow.
He arrived here 200 years ago last month in Tassie. Yeah, so we had a little bit of a birthday celebration.
Oh, how glorious. That's such a Tassie story, I love it.
Yeah, he arrived here day before Christmas, so 24th of December.
He'd be proud, I think.
Yeah, I think he'd be very proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of ships, Navy Strength gin. Now, the reason I love this, when I thought about it being a really, really terrific spirit, because it's a really hard, to my knowledge, very hard thing to do well.
Correct.
You want balance. You want some heat from the spirit, but not to dominate.
No, and you want that really nice, smooth mouthfeel, so that it's a pleasant drink, and you can sit there and sip it, which is the way I like to drink it.
And the complexity of the botanicals comes through.
And it's just an enjoyable experience.
Now, you all got a bit of a secret sauce, namely the water.
The water
you get to use.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We searched around Tassie for quite a few years, sampled different waters, had them all tested, and we found a water source that worked really well with our botanical mix. And we've been using that ever since.
Because people don't really understand until they try it and pick it out, the softness that you get. And this is again a feature of your gins, to mine, is the softness on the powder, the roundness of you get.
It's really important.
Yeah.
And the water is, it's a huge part of the gin as a product. And if you don't have good water and you don't give it time to mix with the gin, you can end up with quite a harsh product.
It's a secret tip there, pro tip for distillers out there, I think.
Yeah.
And last but not least, your blackberry gin. Is that relatively new?
No, we've actually been making that from the start. Our blackberry gin is quite a bit different. We use fruit from up in the Dillon Valley. Beautiful heritage blackberries. So we don't go along the local Tassie roads and pick them off the side. But they're a really nice plump blackberry that came out to Tassie about 150 years ago. and they've been grown for their flavour and their juice.
Sounds fantastic.
It's absolutely amazing.
And again, just something you just have neat, I'm guessing?
Yes, I actually like to drink the blackberry neat on ice. It's really nice. It has a very intriguing mouthfeel. It's quite soft.
And it's not like a slow gin, like the sweetness balance is kind of just very natural, I'm guessing.
Yeah. There is only gin and blackberries. We don't use any sweeteners or sugars or anything.
It's a fantastic in colour too, isn't it?
Yeah. I think we worked out there's almost a kilo of fruit in each bottle.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're sucker for punishment.
We are. Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So where can people find your, if they can't be here in Tassie today, where can they find your gins?
Certainly on the website.
So Summerleas, Distillery.
.com.au.
Yep.
Yep. On our website. If they use the code Summerleas, we'd actually ship to the mainland for free.
That's very generous of you. Thank you.
Yes. That's what we're doing for all the interstate visitors this weekend.
Great.
So, you can use that as well.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your time and congratulations on your range.
No, thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Cheers, mate.